gentlemen, and children of all ages.
One and all.
Welcome to our 32nd episode. The bantering of film, the discussion of cinema, the absolute appreciation of movies. That is correct, we are film banter. We banter about
film.
everything, but mainly
Filmmakers,
about film. And we welcome you.
as always.
I am your host, the Cardian, bulimic, Russian god, Sir Nunos, and I'd like to introduce my co-host, Mr. Chris Picard. People of Earth, people of Earth. So wonderful to be here.
You must slide in more, my friend. You've looked better, I must say. You've looked better before.
I have a cold. I don't feel good.
You need some vitamin D. I might have some in my coat for you.
Very well.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know.
And you're dressed very warmly. I'm very happy to see
It's
that.
very warm. I'm very hot. Anyway, we welcome you to Film Banter, episode 32.
Your chin looks good.
Stop that! Stop! Well, all right.
Shall we begin, my friend?
I suppose we shall.
It's a very grim opening. It's a very somber, very grim moment, but I'm enjoying it. Because you just are a horrid sight. And I really need to get your medical attention one of these days.
You're so flattering.
I know. I don't know what else to say.
You're a wonderful person at heart,
I'm very worried about you.
but on the surface, you're very cruel.
I have my moments.
I suppose you must be cruel to be kind.
You do. That's a good song, too.
Very well.
Welcome, everybody. We appreciate your patronage on our
Thank
humble
you.
little episode here.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
It's nice to have you here this evening.
Yeah.
So we're going to open our show with a film with Nicolas Cage and Russell Brand. It's a 2016 particular show, a movie, if you will. It's called Army of One. That's right. It's a true story, you know.
You know, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes. Do you know now?
Oh, now I know. I
All
appreciate
right.
you enlightening me on
It's
that.
very true. It's called Army of One, and it features Nicolas Cage, and he's playing a crazed man who, for some particular reason, decides that he must go after Osama bin Laden. Obviously, this is before Mr. bin Laden has
yes,
been
before he was
murdered
taken
by
out.
our President Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't we miss him now? But, yes, we certainly miss him now, don't we, sir?
Well, yeah, what can I say, my friend?
I miss him too. I miss him too. You never know what you got till it's gone. Da 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 da. A
Indeed.
big yellow taxi took away my old man. So, Joni Mitchell, 1976, I believe. Well, anyway, I enjoyed this film. I enjoyed Army of One. It was quite absurd. Nicolas Cage gives a rather rambunctious performance. He's an obnoxious, a whole of a rectal sort. He plays a very he's a very unkempt man,
Okay.
and he's very he's kind of crazed. It does star the woman who was in the show, the Goldbergs. You familiar with that show?
Yes, with it's the show
It's
with
a blonde
Jeff
woman
Garland,
in the show, correct?
the wife.
Yes, she's
I know who you're
wonderful,
talking about.
and she plays his girlfriend
She's
in
very
this
good.
film. So it's quite entertaining for her. I enjoyed it very, very much.
And you know, I've said on this show numerous times, I'm a fan of Nicolas Cage. I will always be a fan of Nicolas
As am
Cage,
I.
and I want to see this film. It's a
As
shame
do
I didn't
I.
see it.
Yes.
Are you blessing the audience with your
I'm blessing
with your
the
demonic?
thought of Nick Cage because I think he's a fine lad.
I agree.
And I like that he takes risks. He certainly takes a risk in this
He
film. He
definitely
does not
does.
play Nicolas Cage, assure you that. He plays a man of an
That's very
elsewhile
good.
derogatory inflammation of character,
Okay.
which is interesting, if I may say. Oh, I seem to have a tear in my wrist. It's quite all right. Don't be concerned, everyone.
I think that's the fashion, the grim
I
fashion.
know it is. Stop it.
Don't yell at me.
I know what it is. You don't have to tell me. I was just bringing attention to it because I need attention.
I know, and
don't you realize that by now?
It's not my fault that you're 6 feet from the grave.
Don't you realize that by now?
Oh, I think we're very well aware. The ego stroking that goes on in this program is unparalleled.
It is unparalleled.
But I don't mind.
I do appreciate it.
I don't mind humoring you.
All right, as long as...
Because there's nobody else I'd rather banter about film with.
Certainly that is so true. And it's so little humor you present. So as long as you humor me, then therefore, that's all that matters.
I leave the comedy to you, my friend.
Oh, no. You're quite... I'm just kidding you. You're quite a participant in the non-partisan event of humor on this particular show.
Much.
So that is quite truth.
I like playing the straight part.
All right, well, let's talk about Army of One. I enjoyed this film. As I said, it was interesting. It was more of a comedy than anything because of Nicolas Cage's particular character of such absurdity and such crazed ambition to go kill Bin Laden. Ah! Sorry, I'm sitting on my own feces.
I must ask though, what does Russell Brand play in the show?
Russell Brand plays God.
Really?
He is the omnipresent presence.
Oh my goodness!
And he's quite good. I must say, he's quite good in this film. He plays Russell Brand basically in kind of a godlike fashion, but he's very well appreciated. I like this movie.
Good.
The guy who played Curly in The Three Stooges, kind of a bald fellow.
Yes.
He's in this film also. What's his name?
Are you talking about the Three Stooges movie that came out a couple years ago?
Yeah, the Family Brothers movie that came out a couple years ago.
Oh, okay. I forget the name of that.
Yeah, he's an actor.
I can look it up.
No, don't bother.
Well, we should know his name.
No, I don't want to know his name now. It's too late.
You don't want to know it now?
No, I want you to move on now. We're going to move on. We've done Army of One.
Okay.
For those of you who might possibly enjoy it. So please, if you would, go on now, and you're going to talk about The Good Neighbor with James Caan.
I'm going to.
All right, then do it, damn it!
You're very pushy tonight. I like it. You're very, what's the word? I don't know.
I
you're
don't
aggressive.
know what you're talking about.
You're very cryptic because you're from a crypt.
Maybe that's so.
Yeah.
Stop poo-pooing the event. And just get on with it, will you?
Where's your ba-dum-bum? You forgot it.
No, I don't know where it is.
Anyway, yes, The Good Neighbor, moving on. The Good Neighbor is, it's on Netflix. Are you done?
I'm done. Please continue.
The Good Neighbor is on Netflix if you'd like to watch it. It stars James Caan as in a very simple premise. It's anywhere USA. It's a cul-de-sac street. He lives across the street from two high school kids who are embarking on an experiment. They have a good amount of high-tech equipment, cameras, editing equipment, computer software. And what they want to do is they want to convince James Caan, their neighbor, that his house is haunted.
Oh,
that's the premise. So they sneak into his home when he's not
there.
there.
I know what that's like!
I know.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. Maintain a manageable level of excitement.
Yes, please continue.
So they sneak into his home, put hidden cameras everywhere. They put little things on the windows that can bring an effect down the line. So they do all these little things to set up the house to make him think that he's haunted in many different ways.
I see.
So, and they're filming and documenting it, and there's two...
Documenting?
Documenting it for a documentary.
Oh.
It's a psychological
it's
experiment.
Easy for you to say, but I'm cheap.
And the one guy is more obsessed than the other. One guy's the smart, the computer guy who did all the technical stuff.
There's always one guy that's the smart guy, and there's always other people that are not as smart.
And the other one is the filmmaker who's obsessed.
I know that feeling very well. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
And trying to get through this premise. So that's the premise.
Okay.
And so it's all about how this whole thing devolves, you could say, and unravels. And I'm telling you, there are some very, very intense, suspenseful moments in this film.
How's James Caan in this film?
Very good. I was so happy to see him because I haven't seen him in anything in a while.
I haven't seen him in such a long time. Then again, I can't see anything in the city get-up.
But it was good to see him back in a film. I mean, I know he's been working, but this is probably the most high-profile project he's done in a while, I would say.
Exciting.
And I thought it was a really well-done film. I was really enjoying it, and I found myself thinking, wow, I'm really into this movie. I was just kind of on the edge of my seat. There was a couple scenes in particular that were real intense, and I was very happy to see that.
Good.
Because, a lot of the stuff on Netflix, we can agree, is not really the greatest.
Correct.
But this is a nice little gem, and I really enjoyed it.
He will be pleased.
Yes.
Pardon me. He
will be pleased.
He will be pleased.
Yes, apparently he will. So I really...
That was a side shot to Lucifer.
Yes. There's
Oh,
that
look.
smooth
A
guitar.
friend of mine is calling me. And I must say,
No.
I must decline.
How about putting it on silence?
I think we'll put it on silence here tonight. Yes, if I can.
But I do like that ringtone.
It is wonderful, isn't it?
It's cool.
Yes, it brings me great joy.
It does. And, you know, this film, though, I really recommend it. Check out The Good Neighbor on Netflix. It's really cool. You know, and a lot, I'm not going to say it's a found footage film, but a lot of the story is told through the camera, you know, through the lens, through footage that was shown. There's a court proceeding that they cut through throughout the film. And so they're like, you know, let's go to the tape kind of a thing. But I didn't mind it, because a lot of times the found footage genre I get very bored with.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been played out, but it works in this film, the little bit that it's used.
All right,
And I really recommend A Good Neighbor. It's a solid movie. I really liked it, and James Caan is excellent.
Okay.
And the movie goes in directions you don't expect, which I thought was very...
You know, sometimes that's nice.
Yeah, I thought
movie
that
goes
was
in
good.
a direction you don't expect.
Because I'm tired of predictable stuff.
Exactly.
So I really enjoyed it, and I really
I kind of like
recommend
to
it.
see the movie. I remember when it first came out.
Yeah.
I
should
wanted
check it
to
out.
kind of see it, but, you know, then I thought, ah! I'm sorry. There's a being trying to get out of me. He wants to talk in his own voice. I won't allow it. Yeah. No, please, let me talk. Let me talk. I want you to talk. Yeah.
The Brooklyn incarnate over here.
All right, go ahead.
It's your turn, my
So
friend.
anyway, it's like this. Oh, Jesus, Mother and Mary and Fred. What was that?
I'll tell you, that thing has a mind of its own, because you
know
didn't
what,
touch
it,
that.
It really does
Neither
have a
one of
mind
us
of
did.
its own. It's so
Which is
true,
really
you
creepy.
know.
Maybe it's haunted.
It's quite creepiness.
You have a haunted pooping machine.
Very possible indeed. All right, so The Good Neighbor is good, though.
I really enjoyed
You did
it.
enjoy it. Well, I'd like to see it myself.
Yeah, you should.
I probably will if I ever can get this get-up off my face.
Would you like assistance?
No, not at the moment.
Facelift?
No, I'm going to keep it for a while.
You should.
I should and will. I'd like to talk about Colossal.
You should.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I'd like to talk about Colossal here. Colossal is a movie with Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
Did she go this way or did she go Hathaway?
We don't know.
I like this movie. You reviewed it last week on
did.
our particular on
And
this
I really
show
liked it too.
with the red-haired guy who's normally here. And I gotta say, I like this movie.
Isn't it clever?
It was a good film. It was very clever. It was interesting. There were some major things that just were a little irritating at times, but I did like Jason Sudeikis in the film.
Very good.
You know, it didn't make sense that she was able to, you know, this is about someone who has created an avatar with herself and a beast that's going rampant in Korea at the
Correct.
moment, in Seoul specifically. So, and she is able to enact so that the being in the creature, as it were, this monster in Seoul is doing the exact same motions that she does in a kiddie park by her home. So it's kind of a unique thing, and it's getting harder to breathe, and I may pass out any moment.
Well, we don't want that, so feel free
No, it's
to...
all right. I'll pass out if I need to, and you'll just continue.
I
the
could put
show.
some straws in the nostrils, and you can breathe in through that if you like.
I wish you could possibly do that, but I don't know if it's possible. Well, anyway, let me get on with it. Colossal is a good film. It is in theaters now. You may go to theaters and see it. And I enjoyed this movie.
I'm glad you
did
did.
discuss it. It's a bit of a comic. There's a comic element to it, which I liked.
Very much.
I liked there was a little romantic touch to it. Anne Hathaway is wonderful in this. It's her movie.
She's very well cast.
She's
I
got
thought.
the bangs in this thing. She's always wearing, you know, her lot Beatle cut. So I like that, and she looked good.
And she was pregnant while making this movie.
Was she?
Well, that's why they had a lot of baggy clothes on her. She was in
I see.
I believe in her second trimester. If I'm not
really?
mistaken. Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, it's
So,
good that you
but
know
she
these things.
did
I
a good
suppose.
job. Well, I speculated that was the case because otherwise they wouldn't have her in all these like baggy, frumpy clothing.
I
And then
suppose. Well,
then I
you
looked
never
on the
know.
trivia on IMDb and it said she was pregnant.
Well, it's
so I
not
knew
the
it.
Devil's Wear Prada, for God's sakes.
No, but somebody like her is usually not. You know, usually she's wearing like form-fitting clothing. And
I
she
know.
looks
I
good.
just want to leave.
Out of your system?
Yeah, no, I just like
Okay.
to do it from time
That's
to time
fine.
to scare the shit out of you all.
I don't mind.
All right, cool. So yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was a well done little movie. I thought it
very
was
happy
good.
to
I
hear it.
enjoyed Anne. I enjoyed the whole premise of the film. It's kind of a sci-fi, kind of a drama, romance, comedy. It really had it all. It was entertaining, and I was happy to sit there and watch it, and found it most innovatively entertaining. It was creative. It was cool. It was a cut different than the average film that we usually do, and there you go. Amen. So we're done with that. Let's move on.
We really both recommend Colossal.
Let's move on to what I possibly feel may be the stinker of the week.
I suspected that you didn't care for this film.
Oh, really?
I did.
Well, when I tell you, you don't really need to go see this film.
But I still want to see it.
You kind of get the idea.
I know, but I still want to see it.
All right, so let's talk about The Circle.
Why don't you give the brief idea to the
May
audience
it be
of the premise?
unbroken. Yes. The Circle is a movie. It's basically kind of, I would say it's a bit Scientology. I would say it's a bit Apple. Mm-hmm. It's tweeting
a little Facebook thrown in there.
Facebook, every aspect of every media conglomeration, big business corporation that has come down our pike. But I think it's more Scientology than anything in this, and just how they want to control your life and so forth. We have little sweet, cute Emma Watson, directly right out of Beauty and the Beast. And oh, Jesus. I thought it was rather beastly, this film. Oh, I found... And Tom Hanks, of course, is in the movie. Little Patton Oswalt.
And you got John Boyega from Star Wars. Is in this as well?
Yes. I hated every moment of this horrible, horrible film. I thought it was just a waste of time. It is pretty much, they broadcast the whole deep, dark. It's The Firm. We've seen these movies before where we just, there's no surprises. We know that, okay, there's that presence of gloom and doom that is coming. This is not as all meets the eye, the naked eye. We go immediately into poor little Emma Watson. She's our dupe. She's our Joe Public, our Jane Doe, if you will, who enters wide-eyed and naive and comes into this world of this big corporate. The movie opens with Tom Hanks giving his Steve Jobs impression, getting up there, telling the people
every Friday
how wonderful we are and how great, and this company is going crazy and wild, and we're all wonderful. So little Emma, of course, has to she has to audition, she has to get the job, she gets the job, and now we go through this journey of hers, which I found not too different from beginning to end. She's a firm believer. Things happen. Very little happens. Nice to see Bill Paxton in his final role. I do believe this is it. I'm so sorry that he was a sickly in this movie.
I felt very sad seeing him.
Me too.
He played her father, an MS patient in
precisely.
This film.
And it was sad to see him. And we know that Bill is now gone and has deceased our world. And he probably looks like me right now, laying in his grave, spitting at the thought of this silly, stupid movie that he's in. But, that being said, let me just talk about it. So, yes, The Circle. I hated this movie! I hated it!
You're wearing a good outfit for this
That was horrible! Did you agree?
I think I liked it a little bit better than you did.
No, you didn't, you liar! You son of a bitch!
I didn't hate it! I didn't hate it.
I hated it.
I agree with your sentiments that not much happens.
Nothing.
A few things happen.
The end is, there's
it's
nothing
very
room for a sequel. There's nothing.
Well,
it just goes nowhere.
Yeah, the end is very anticlimactic.
Oh, it's nothing. It's horrible.
What it felt like to me...
Was it the stinker of the week?
Maybe to you. But is it a great film? No.
No, it's horrible.
But here are my thoughts if I can get them out.
Please.
It's tough because there are elements of this film that I appreciated. I thought that given where we're going with technology, given a lot of what we've discussed already that has appeared in a much better form on Black Mirror on Netflix about technology and the gloom and doom and the cautionary element of where we're headed, I feel that this film has a little bit of that cautionary tale in it because people are very willing to give up their privacy for convenience, for socialization on the internet, for a million different reasons. Workplaces enjoy, offering ways of making your job easier. Oh, just do a thumbprint, or oh, let's just give you a microchip to get into the door. I mean, there are companies that are giving microchips to their employees to get in, and it's a discussion we need to have as a society.
Yes, they do.
Whether or not we want to go there. So, for the cautionary element, for the technological marvels that are on display in this film for the audiences, I thought it was interesting. It raises a lot of questions.
Like
but I
what?
do a lot of questions like, should we be sharing all this? The brainwashed nature.
We've only been doing it now for 15, 20 years. What do you mean? This is a new question? No, it's not.
No. But it's getting worse and worse with the amount of time people are staring at their phones. How much they're sharing on social media. I don't think it's getting any worse.
People just continue to stare at their phones.
No.
I will say worse.
This. 10 years ago, people were not walking into traffic looking at a cell phone.
Wait.
Smartphones have done that.
When you pointed just then, I just thought, big shot. That's right, you phony balonies out there. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, just for that kind of conversation, I thought it was an interesting film. But no, the execution of the film, I didn't think was great. I didn't think that there was any, anything amazing to recommend.
It's just horrifying.
But I don't regret seeing it. I don't regret seeing it. I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed the performances I thought Emma Watson was good in the role that she was given.
Emma was very cute.
I thought Tom Hanks played the role well. Patton Oswalt did what he had to do. I thought everybody did a decent job.
Lame. It was so lame. But I agree.
It's not a great film. It's not.
It's not even a. It's not even a.
But
it's not even a poor film.
I still enjoyed it for what it was. Did I pay full price? No. Am I glad that I didn't? Yes.
I would like to make a point.
No. Wait. Let me finish. Let me make sure there's nothing else in here that needs to come out before you hijack the moment.
Oh, God damn it.
No. I just was reminded.
Lucifer, I call upon you. Come to me now.
Anyway, I can't help but being reminded of that episode of Black Mirror with Bryce Dallas Howard from season 3.
Oh, yes.
Where it's all about the obsession of the social status.
So much better done than this piece of crap.
I agree that was much more compelling. And check that out again. If you haven't seen Black Mirror, check it out.
Let me make one point.
Go ahead.
To the Almighty who lives below us.
Go ahead.
In the 7 gables of hell. And that is where this film was comprised and composed to take your feeble money, to take your cash dollar. The thing about this movie specifically was it was a hit and run. You know what that is?
Tell me.
What's a hit and run?
I know what it is in general terms.
A hit and run is when no reviews are put out to the public on the day of the film's release. This film was not given a prerequisite by reviewers to see exactly what it was. No way. It's a hit and run. Oh, let's hit you with Tom Hanks. Let's hit you with Emma Watson. Let's hit you with all the other dipshits in this movie who'll go nowhere after this film. But I do have one thing they don't have, and that's a testimonial. Oh, horse is a horse of... I'm sorry, I'm getting carried away.
Yes, you are.
But
it does have,
that means basically...
No, but there were critics reviewing it because Rotten Tomatoes has like a 25%.
Oh, this film got horrible reviews. Go take a look at IMDb. 4.2.
No, I saw that. I'm aware of that.
Horrible.
I still don't go by reviews. I'm still going to see it if I want to.
I only look at a review after I've seen the film.
Yeah,
and
that's usually what I do.
Because in my gut, I said to myself, oh, come on. I hated... I looked at my watch. Now, the week before, I had seen a film called...
Unforgettable,
yes. Which is hard for me to remember for some odd reason. And because of that film, I was looking at my watch literally I'd say every 5 to 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. This film, I was looking at my watch every 2 minutes or so. That's how disgusted I was with this movie. I couldn't take it. I mean, it just sat there. It was going nowhere. Finally, we have something happen when we have a Princess Di moment where where the paparazzi ends up.
Somebody gets
a life is ended due to the malfunction and overemphasis and complete.
Which, by the way, I will say that I thought that whole sequence was completely contrived.
It was so horrible.
Nothing about it seemed real to me.
And the whole thing of them sitting there and let's see if we can find this person in under 10 minutes under 20 minutes.
That didn't feel genuine.
I felt so fake and so bad. I couldn't believe that the choices that the filmmakers made to put this stuff in there. I just sat there in awe, going, "This is a big movie."
It is.
Tom Hanks makes a movie. It's not yesterday's news.
And he produced the film.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw him talking about it on a late talk show. Stephen Mr. Colbert, or Colbert as he's known in France. But, I have to say that, he didn't denounce the film. He basically just comes out and does his job, and, he's just a press, he's a press junkie, is what the studios make the actors. But I just despise this movie. I don't recommend anybody to see it. There's nothing worthwhile in this film that presents anything that you will take away from this movie. There is nothing to be had here. There's no great performances. Emma Watson, she's cute. Bill Paxton. This is a movie to just be shoved in the dumpster and just to be thrown into the depths of hell. And that's what I
Tell
say.
us how you really feel about this film.
Well, I'd like this movie to just go away. I want it to just end and not be here anymore.
It won't be in theaters much longer, so that'll give you some pleasure.
I'm sorry?
I said it probably will not be in theaters much longer.
Well,
that
I
should give you
disagree
some
with
pleasure.
you because I do believe that the masses, being as silly and
It didn't do
stupid
well.
as they are...
It didn't do well at the box office.
No good. Well, it deserves not to do it because it's a piece of junk and crap. And let's move on, shall we?
We can move on.
All right. I'd like to move on to a film. I'd like to detour into my next film.
Is it called The Detour?
It's called Detour. And I like this movie. And it stars little what's-her-name, who was the Carrie Philby character. What's her name?
Carrie Philby? Oh, it's, I have to look it up. I don't remember.
She's very, very good.
It's a simple
There's
name.
a lot of insignificant actors in it. This is a little indie motion picture, if you will. I kind of liked it, though. I found it very, very entertaining, most pleasant. And I'd like you all to watch it if you can.
Belle Powley.
Belle Powley, yes. It's a nice little movie. It's
Not to be confused with Belle Palsy.
Yeah, there is The Detour, which is actually a series on some miserable one of those channels that nobody watches, USA, TBS, tits for ass, and blah, blah, blah. It's all sorts of crapola that's represented in our blessed world. There's so many damn television shows, I can't take it anymore. But I will say the Detour is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is it interesting and it's just simplified, it's about 3 people.
Correct.
That's right, 3 people. There's 3. 1, 2, 3. Can you count them? And there's one of them that goes away, and then there's another that goes away, and then you're just left with one. No. But I like this movie. I did. And the one cool thing about this film is that it's presented in a very cool flashbackian way, which I like. And it reminds me a little bit of our the director of Prisoners. You know how he
Denis Villeneuve.
Mr. Villeneuve, he has this way of making you think. He makes you think. You understand? I went from French accent to kind of a
Spanish
accent in a moment of seconds. But he does. He makes you think. He makes you copulate within your own mind, precisely because, you kind of get, you get a little bit, fucked in the mind, just watching this film, because things will happen, you will not know why they happened, and then suddenly, bingo, character does a little flashback, tells the story, the events leading up to the moment that you just lost consciousness, so you think those acid flashback days are setting in once again, and then you realize, the filmmakers are doing a little game upon us, so it's quite entertaining. I did like it. I did, and it does detour its film style making as much as it presents a pretty cool little tale, so it was very campy and funny, and has a little Badlands kind of feel to it.
Okay.
Where people are running away from the law. Everybody is kind of a messed up character, but they're all very likable, which I like that. Mm-hmm. I like it when characters are relatable. You can still relate to them. When characters completely disown us as viewers, it's hard to appreciate. So.
We need that connection as a viewer to something in the film. If you can't relate to anybody, then you don't sympathize with anybody in the film. Oh, is he dead? He'll wake up. Wake up, buddy.
It's hard to breathe. I'm sorry. Oh, so where was I now?
You were ending your review.
I was ending my review. Okay, it's over.
Are you sure?
I think it is over, actually.
Okay.
Not much else to say.
Do you promise?
Yes, I do. I promise it's over.
You're terrible.
No, I thought it was good. I like this movie. It's very good. It's called Detour. Please notice it's from 2016. It's out there. And I'm just checking our miserable group of viewers here. Where are you, David? I'm coming for you.
I think you scared him away, my friend.
I don't know.
With your very pale appearance.
There's my little friend Max is out there. You know what? I have my eye on you. I'm watching you. All right, that's enough of that. All right, so we can move on if you'd like.
Yes.
Our next film is entitled...
It's called The Promise.
That's right. Well,
The
tell us
Promise.
all about it. won't you?
Currently in theaters, which
Tell us
I
the-
thought you were going to go see, by the way.
I was going to go see it, but then I decided to go see
Something else.
Sleight,
Which we'll be reviewing
which
next.
I shall be reviewing shortly if I can only continue to breathe.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to that.
Good.
The Promise is a film that's out now in theaters, starring Oscar Isaac and Christian Bale and the lovely Charlotte Labon, who's been in a bunch of films lately.
Charlotte Labon.
So The Promise is a very, I want to say a niche film. It's not exactly something that everybody's going to want to
A
see.
niche film.
Niche. It's very niche. It's about the 1914...
Isn't that like in the lower part of France?
No, that's Nice.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Niche means very selective audience.
Oh, I got
Because
it.
it's about the
I'm
1914...
kidding you, you buffoon!
Hey,
I'm making a mockery
I'm
of the word
dumbing
niche.
ourselves down for the audience here.
Thank you very much. Okay,
I'm assisting.
anyway, please continue.
It's about the 1914 Armenian genocide at the hand of the Ottoman Empire, aka the Turks, right before the beginning of World War One. So it takes place over in Turkey. Oscar Isaac is an Armenian guy who lives in a small village, who goes to study to be a doctor in Constantinople, and he's betrothed to a young village girl to get married. It's an arranged marriage, so he uses the dowry.
I wish I were betrothed to a young village girl
So
to
do
get
I.
married.
And he uses the dowry to pay for medical school. And while he's over there, the Turkish Empire decides to, go after all the Armenians and get them out of the city. And then not only that, try to wipe them off basically the face of the earth. And so one of their allies is the Germans. And this is, like I said before, right in the beginning of World War One. And so Oscar Isaac is on the run in this film with the lovely... like I said before, Charlotte Labon,
Hey, Charlotte Labon!
who is also of Armenian descent in the film, but spent a lot of time in France. And so she is in a relationship with Christian Bale, who in the film is an American journalist, a fairly well-known American journalist, who's reporting on what is going on over there and eventually is very much involved in covering the genocide. And so... in a way, it's a chase film because Oscar Isaac is on the run.
It's a chase film.
It's a film where there's a love triangle between
There's
the
a
three
love
of them.
triangle.
And then it's all about this awful genocide that's going on, and there's people being killed everywhere, and it's very tragic. And
That sounds horrible. Very sad.
so it's a very beautiful film to watch. It's very, very well done.
Somehow I knew that.
It's
Was
a little-
it directed by anyone of any fame?
Well, his name is Terry George. He did Hotel Rwanda most
I
recently.
did not love that film.
It's okay. It wasn't bad.
It was a Don Cheadle film.
It was Don
I did
Cheadle.
not care for that
Correct.
movie too much.
It
It was okay.
This film is a tad long. It's 2 hours, 15 minutes. They could have easily chopped out 20
If I
minutes.
had white gloves, it would be even more menacing.
Yes, and it's a little slow at times.
Is
It
it?
took me a bit to get into it. But overall, I enjoyed it. It's a 3-star film.
It's a
It's
3-star
very
film.
well acted.
I knew it.
I couldn't say no because of Oscar Isaac and
And
Christian
Mr.
Bale.
Bale.
You got a great cast
You
right
can't
there.
bail out on the Oscar.
And this film was very, very harrowing at times.
Harrowing.
It's very sad. And what's interesting is this film was produced by, it was basically an independent film, but apparently it's the biggest budget indie film
In the history of
if
the
not
world.
history, but in a very long time. It has an Armenian billionaire who helped finance the film. And so the film is spared no expense anywhere. The action sequences are very big. The photography is covering the sprawling mountains, and it's gorgeous. It's a postcard to Turkey.
Oh,
and
it sounds
Greece.
wonderful.
It was filmed a little bit in Portugal also, so it's a very beautiful film.
It sounds luscious.
I would say if you want to see it in the theater, that'd be great because of the visuals, because it's gorgeous. It is a big screen film,
Yeah.
but you can still watch it on a nice big screen TV and get
You
the
watch
same
it at
effect.
home too if you want to.
You can, yeah. But I did enjoy The Promise, and I really thought it was very well
Do you
done.
promise?
I promise that I enjoyed The Promise.
All right, believe
And I
you.
promise you that I'm going to take a hit of this wonderful concoction you have
Go
here.
ahead, dude.
Is it the same stuff from last week?
Yeah, dude. It's the same shit, man. It's like smoking your underwear. It's good shit, dude.
That's good stuff.
All right, man, thanks.
Wow. Very good. Very good. It's a good batch. Anyway, The Promise. I really recommend it. It's just one of those
Yeah.
films that
It's one of those films.
It's a historical film. I said enough.
I think you said enough. I don't think
I don't want to
anybody
beat a
wants
dead horse. Just I like The Promise.
go ahead.
I enjoyed it. Why don't you move on to your review of Sleight?
All right, I'm going to review the next film, which is a film called Sleight. I had high hopes for this movie. I really did.
I heard it's a pooper. This movie.
A pooper, scooper. Are you kidding me?
A pooper.
A pooper scooper. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
You know, when you want it to work,
I know it
you
doesn't.
know, it's like Michael Caine.
But then it
when
goes
you want
off.
him to work, he doesn't, and then he just comes out with a movie, and there it is.
Yes.
I like Michael there. I always have.
Who doesn't?
I loved him in Sleuth. I mean, I like me in Sleuth, and I worked with Larry Oliver, or Laurence Olivier, as is known, but I thought he was good. I like him always.
Me too.
Let's talk about Sleight, though. You know, I really liked the premise of this movie because it kind of was like putting David Blaine in a situation, like take a street performer,
Yes.
if you will, and give him that ability to perform magic, and then to go against bad guys using his magical technique.
And we're talking about a character that can really do magic, correct?
Well, this kid in the movie, he does the magic.
Okay.
He's like a street performer. He take it like, here's my card. You got a card here? All right, take what your card say. Oh, but look again. It's not the three of diamonds. It's the ace of spades.
The ace of spades.
That's right.
The ace of spades.
Yeah.
That was my Motorhead impression.
Oh, okay, very
Wasn't
good.
that great?
I like Motorhead, though.
Not bad.
I always
Ugliest man on earth.
Yeah, I always liked them. He's dead now, the
I
main
know
guy.
he kind of looked like Quato.
I just read his book not long ago.
How was it?
Mocky, or what's his name again?
Lemmy.
Yeah. I liked his book.
You know he lived in the same apartment his entire life.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure he had the same
But
apartment.
he's very entertaining, and he
Yeah.
wrote well, and you know, he was all about. He really was a sex, drugs, and rock and roll kind of guy.
Of course he was.
But it was an entertaining book, and I liked it a lot. But all right, let's get back to Sleight of Hand here. I feel as though that's what the theater, the producers, that's what the makers of this film did to me. They gave me the old bait and switch, you see.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it was a bad movie, but I expected a little bit more.
Okay.
I don't know why. All right, let's change denominations now. But it's basically about a small black boy. He's on the streets of L.A. He's performing street magic and so forth, and doing this, and 1, 2, 3. Where's the ball? I don't know. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that trick. But he's good. The kid is good. This is a well-made little movie. He gets involved with the wrong crowd. He has a little daughter. He has a sister who both his parents have died.
Okay.
So he's living in an apartment complex with his little sister. He's trying to take care of her the best he can.
Okay.
And he meets a girl at this one of his shows that he's giving. She begins to they begin to fall in love.
Of course
they begin to love each other. They begin to love one
There has to be a love story.
There has to be a love story.
There always has
so
to be
there
one.
is,
To get the
yes.
women to go to the theater with the men.
No, not just that. I think she's good. I think she's probably the best actor or actress. No, there's a gentleman in this who plays the drug dealer who sucks our young boy into this.
Yeah, he's played by Dule Hill,
He's very good.
who was in The West Wing.
He's very, very
He's
good.
a good
this
actor.
guy. He's very fine indeed. And I liked him. And so he starts pushing our young protege who wants to make money. He's a street performer, but he's not making enough. He was given a scholarship in electronics and so forth. So he's using specific techniques and electronical things that can damage his body, actually.
Interesting.
He has this thing inserted onto his arm, so it makes him levitate coins and metal things. And I don't know if that's actually a David Blaine trick or not, but I like the premise of this, of a David Blaine type magician, street performer, utilizing, as I'm just repeating myself now, but I like that whole tendency. I thought that would be cool.
It's a good premise with not a great execution.
Well, the payoff was so-so. I thought the payoff was just, it had one great moment, but I think it was the lack of charisma of our lead character, the young man. He was okay. The acting is just, I think that everything just is kind of standard in this. There's nothing sub or high standard. It's a solid 2.5 star film. Okay. If it came on TV late at night, I would change the channel.
Okay.
I would not continue to watch it. Although performances were good, but there's just not enough meat on the bone here to really chew and get into this film and enjoy it for what it does offer, which is very minimalistic.
Okay.
So therefore, I have to kind of give it a I'm not giving it a and I'm not giving it a I'm giving it a
Yes.
And you know what? That's kind of the biggest insult you can give a film in a way. A movie that really doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
It's like when your mother doesn't give a damn about you. She just says stuff like, Ma, should I do my homework tonight? And she says, I don't care.
Whatever you want.
I don't care. What do you want to do? Doesn't matter to me. If she said, you're damn right you're doing your homework, or oh, I love you so much, I just want you to be somebody in your life. So, it's that apathy. It is that apathetic neutrality that this film presents to us. We watchers of film. We enjoyers of cinema. We film banterers, damn it! Who banter about film for no reason whatsoever. Except for the entertainment of these people out there! Alright, I'm sorry. Continue. Go on with your show. Give us your best offer now, if you will.
Yes, my best offer is that I'm going to review the best offer. Unfortunately, I you made me lose my train of thought here.
Well, why don't you pick up on the caboose? You little shitter, I'll give you a little probe. You bastard.
Keep your sex toys to yourself.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, please continue.
So the best offer stars Jeffrey Rush. This film is on Netflix now. Was recently added. And
you mean Jeffrey Rush, Oscar winner?
Yes, Oscar for Shine,
I
1996.
love that film.
I do too. It's a fantastic
That's a fine
movie.
film, and I like Jeffrey.
Yeah, he's great. He's
yes,
always
and he
good.
was also in. He was just in the King's Speech.
What did he play in the King's Speech?
He was the speech guy. He was the guy who taught him.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. You're right.
You blithering
Dude,
moron.
that movie was like 5 years ago.
I don't care.
2010, I think.
Well, you remember 1996 with Shine, didn't you?
Yeah, but I...
You make me
No, but
wanna.
I forgot that he was in that movie.
You make me wanna.
Oh,
You make me wanna.
Quiet. Keep your rigor mortis self quiet. How long can he stay like that? Anyway,
How long can I stay like this? That's the question.
The best offer. Jeffrey Rush. Jeffrey Rush plays an English auctioneer, a very high-end, very stuffy kind of a guy who runs these high-end auctions. And so he's an art dealer. He's got a little scam going on with a friend of his, played by Donald Sutherland, who is a guy who will bid on things for him.
God.
And then they'll kind of, behind the scenes, he'll pay him for this stuff. That doesn't matter. But he's a very interesting character. If anything, this film is a character study of a guy who's very set in his ways. He wears gloves.
I don't know anyone like that.
I know you don't. He's very, very much a recluse. He goes to dinner by himself. He has a very isolated life. He lives in this very grand apartment.
You mean like this?
Yes, just like this.
Okay.
It's a little nicer, though, his apartment.
I would think so.
But then
I'm drawing a comparison, you see, between myself and Jeffrey Rush's character.
I caught that, yes.
Oh, you didn't catch anything but syphilis, you bastard!
Speak for yourself.
Oh,
and so in the
please.
film, he's asked to go to this mansion to appraise all the possessions of the ex-owners who passed away. The daughter of these people has inherited the home, and she doesn't know what to do with this opulent house full of all these priceless artifacts and these antiques and these paintings and this furniture, all this stuff. He goes there, and then he never really sees her in the flesh because she's always hiding, or she's calling him. And then she says, I can't be seen, I got a disease, this and that. But it's all about how the relationship develops. And eventually there is some intrigue that occurs. I don't want to give away too much.
Oh, give it away.
No, I don't believe in that.
Give it away.
There are some plot twists that occur.
Give it away.
But it's the most interesting film about a guy who's an auctioneer. I mean, it's probably the only film I've seen about a guy who's an auctioneer. But I found this film very compelling, and it's all about the acting of Jeffrey Rush. He sells every moment in this film. He does it beautifully. He gives a fantastic performance that I feel like is one of those overlooked ones of recent years.
You don't have a tulip you could place on my chest right now, do you?
No, I don't, but I'll get one for next time.
Oh, thank you so much.
No, I don't have it. I don't have nothing that I can offer you. But I would say, check it out. It's on Netflix. Like I said, the best offer. It's really an interesting little film. It just gives you a window into this guy who's just meticulous. He's very off-putting. It's just a very, very interesting film, and I really, really got a kick out of it. I know you'd said that you saw part of it and weren't interested?
I tried to watch it, and I was interested in it for a moment or so.
For a moment or so, but
I
then
do
you
like
lost.
Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah, it's
Normally,
worth seeing for
I
him.
enjoy him.
I'm looking forward to seeing him in that Einstein miniseries.
It's an older film, though, which kind of kept me from going to it.
What's the matter? You've watched stuff that's 3 years old. So what?
No, that's not true,
Yes,
sir.
you have.
No, I have not.
You haven't. You haven't.
No, only when I'm doing a flashback moment. Flashback,
Not necessarily.
back. But generally speaking, no.
Nah.
I try
Yeah,
to
but
keep
if-
things very prominent.
Yeah, but if something is new to Netflix or it's trending,
Our viewers want to know about the latest films.
no, but they also want to see
They
good
don't want
films.
to go
I
back
disagree.
into history.
No, I just so we're
They
not
don't
so
want
we're
to
not
go
gonna we're not gonna
full
tell our viewers
circle.
to watch anything other than what's new stuff and flashbacks from
You
30
are
years ago.
getting sleepy now.
No, I think you're wrong.
You are getting
I think
sleepy.
I am going to make our viewers aware of a good film. I don't care what year it comes out.
You don't?
No, you want to tell them about a film from 1936.
Well, that's called a flashback moment. That's
yeah,
called a
but,
classic.
yeah, but that means we're only picking a handful of movies from a few years ago and overlooking an entire 40, 50, 60 years of films. If they're not a new film and they're not a flashback,
Oh, shut
all those
up.
film in the movies,
Oh, be
all those
quiet.
movies in the middle are going to be just
Enough already!
No, I disagree. I'm going to tell them about any film that I desire
All
because
right.
I want them to see good films.
No, I agree.
I agree. I mean, that's what modern classics are for.
Yes.
We touched on that new
Yes.
category.
Oh, yes, I think so, too.
So I think the
I
best
think you should
offer
tell
is
everybody
worth
whatever they
recommending.
want to know.
Now,
That's what I would
now
do.
you're being a stereotypical
Now stop.
gay
Oh,
ghoul.
I am not. Okay, so
So
where
let's,
are we now?
Speaking of gay, why don't you move on to your
I want to go into my
Catfight?
next movie. It's called Catfight. Meow. Meow.
What a horrid sight that is.
I know, it's so wonderful.
You're very haggard.
But yes, Catfight, I enjoyed this film. It stars Anne Heche
Yes, it does.
and Susan Ho. That's right. That's my hoe, Susan. And she's
I don't
a
know
wonderful
Susan
lady.
Ho.
Yes, you do. She was on. You'd recognize her immediately because she was on the show Grey's Anatomy for many a year.
Are you talking about the Asian woman?
Yes.
That's Sandra Oh.
Oh,
Not
Susan,
not
Sandra.
No. You said Susan Ho. It's Sandra Oh.
Oh, very
Big
well.
difference.
Well, I suppose it is. Okay.
We apologize to
There
you,
go.
Miss O, for
Well,
butchering.
sometimes, we give a little, kind of a, we give one of those. And, we don't mean to, but we do. It's a little slip
Usually
of
it's on his side.
little slip of the sphincter there, as one might say. But, yes, Catfight is only worth one thing. This is a stupid movie. There's not much to offer. However,
Yes.
it delivers the goods. That's right. Can I get both hands in there, please? I'd
Please
like
do.
to. Yes, I'd like to. I've got this hand here and this hand there. So if I put them both together, they spell Mother. M is for the way I've always. Something you. But anyway, this movie's pretty cool because we see Anne Heche and
Sandra
Sandra
Oh.
Oh actually go into full-out fist fights.
Nice.
It is cool.
And why are they
And
fighting?
They're fighting because they're just at each other. It
All right.
doesn't even matter why they're fighting.
Okay.
But they're fighting each other, and these are drop dead, punch in the mouth, punch in the gut.
Wow.
Sound effects are. You can often see how fake they are.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
quite as bad as the James Caan punching his brother-in-law in The Godfather.
That was bad. The
When he's
telegraphing
holding
was
up the-
awful.
I know when he's holding up the garbage can, and he punches him with the lid, but it goes on the fence instead.
Yeah, you know,
he punches him and
I don't know
misses
how they
him by a
didn't
mile.
do another take
I
of
don't
that
know
movie.
why, but Coppola just kept it in there. I don't know
No,
why he
why?
did. By the way, everybody just gathered at Tribeca.
I
2
know. I
days
saw
ago.
that for the
entire
reunion.
cast.
Yeah.
Pacino was there.
That's cool.
They
They had a Reservoir Dogs reunion too. It was kind of
There you
cool.
go. They're down at Tribeca there,
Neat-
doing their
neat
thing.
stuff.
I know it's kind of neat. It's kind of
It
nice.
is.
But yeah, so but Catfight does have these 3 big fist fights in it, and at one particular point they both get knocked out.
Yeah.
And when they get knocked out, they actually go into a coma for like I believe it's like 5 years or 3 years or some silly stupid thing. But I enjoyed the fist fights. It's nice to watch 2 women just fight. It's just so stupid and so absurd, and yet I was glued to the screen for those
Okay.
3 fights. It's a short film. It's literally an hour and a half long or so.
Okay.
It's just stupid. Performances are actually pretty good. We become friendly, and then they just start fighting again. It's just so stupid. I can't really recommend the movie. But I'm recommending it just to the glutton for punishment in all of us.
If you want to see two women fight, check out Catfight.
If you want to see people just fight each other for absolutely no reason whatsoever, there's just an ungodly bit of mayhem. It's such rotten, ridiculous horse shit. And yet at the same time, I felt myself compelled to watch on. So I did, and I do love Anne Heche. I like Anne a lot.
No, she's good. It's a shame she's kind of faded out of the spotlight.
She has kind of faded out of the spotlight since her Ellen DeGeneres liaison had ended in kind of a coup d'etat, if you will. Or I was going to say coup d'etat, if you will. Mm-hmm. But it was what it was, and this movie was silly, stupid, and if you can find it out there, it is actually kind of worth a watch.
Okay.
So there you go.
Sounds good. I'll probably never watch it, but
and now you may move on to.
I'm going to do a film called Three Generations, also known as About Ray, which I think is a better title than Three Generations. It's a film starring the ever-present lately Elle Fanning, who seems to be competing with Rooney Mara to see who can be in more films. Also starring Naomi Watts and Susan Sarandon. And so the premise is Elle Fanning is a teenage girl who is at the precipice of a sex change. She wants to become a boy. She considers herself a male in a woman's body, calling herself Ray now as opposed to Ramona.
Yeah.
Her mother is played by the wonderful, as always, Naomi
Watts.
Naomi Watts, who in this film is very supportive of her now, I guess, soon-to-be son's choices.
Yeah, she wants to become a man.
Exactly. And then the third, or I'd say the first generation, would be her mother, played by Susan Sarandon, who is, in the film, we learn right away, a lesbian, who has
Susan Sarandon is?
In the film, yeah. So all the women live together. Right. The three generations live together, and also the girlfriend or wife / husband of Susan Sarandon.
I must point out, this is our most unpopular show for quite some time.
It might be. But,
yeah, it is.
But I don't care.
I don't care at all.
Well, you know what? It's nice out today. People are out experiencing the outdoors.
No, that's not it. I think they're tuning in and turning right out again.
Maybe they just see this face.
They see this face.
It might be this face.
Oh, God, they're just being stupid this time. They're just being bloody stupid.
If you turned off our show because of this, email us at filmbanter@gmail.com.
Yeah,
what do you think of this mask?
If you don't like my face, then you got something to tell me.
Is that what it is?
You want to say it to me, say it to my face.
Yeah, please.
You got something to say it.
So, in the film, all the women live together in this big apartment in New York City, and it's the whole...
Did you get the address?
I didn't.
Because I'd like to go over and visit them.
I know you should.
Pay them a nice
No, it's kind of a cool apartment, though. It's like 3-4 floor.
And they got the ladders outside.
You know what it is? It's one of those Hollywood movie apartments that in real life would probably cost a fortune, but in the movies,
precisely.
the characters can always afford it. But they referenced that the Susan Sarandon's character was in the music business, so there's the way that they can afford it.
Yeah, so they had the money.
The whole premise of the film, the whole plot structure, it hinges on Naomi Watts getting the parental consent papers signed, so Elle Fanning can then go through the beginning stages of the sex change, which would be the hormone therapy, getting the testosterone.
No, I'm sorry, he's not here. I'm sorry, we're doing this show right now. I can't talk.
Can I speak?
No, go on. I'm sorry. I don't
keep your feces to yourself.
Yes, it's okay. No, please go ahead. Yeah.
Anyway, so it doesn't have like a huge plot other than, okay, we got to get these papers signed. And it's all about Naomi Watts having, up and down second thoughts. Do I want to do this?
Okay, goodbye now.
And then trying to get the father, who's not in the picture, to sign the paperwork as well. If they track him down, he's played by Tate Donovan, who's become kind of like the go-to supporting actor these days.
The go-to guy. So in
but
other words, all the actors and actresses in most of the films that we see are go-to people nowadays.
You could say that.
If we had Oliver Platt, Oliver Platt, and we had Fanning, little Dakota,
Rooney Mara,
Elle Fanning, and Rooney Mara in a movie, there'd be no other actors to perform.
But this film has some really good performance. Elle Fanning is good. I mean, I think she's good in everything.
I agree.
She's very good in this. Naomi Watts, I mean, she's always so good, you tend to just take her for granted.
I'd like to take her
Naomi
for
Watts
granted.
Naomi Watts is a great job. Susan Sarandon, the same thing. Sarandon plays kind of she's kind of feisty in this film, and is trying to understand the whole situation because she doesn't get it really. even though her character was somebody who always was gay but got married and had a child and tried to live the straight life, as you could kind of say, but gave in to her true self.
Listen, there's just no reason to live a straight life sometimes. You just got to do what you got to do, girl.
Yes, but this is one of those films that was on the back burner for a while. It was finished in 2015, went to some festivals, got put in the can. The Weinstein brothers didn't release it. They re-edited it. Now it's out again under a new title called Three Generations. But like I said before, I don't think it's a great title. I think the original title, About Ray, suits the film much better, in my humble opinion.
No, gives a bloody damn.
But nevertheless, I enjoyed the film. Although I thought it was a little slow at times. I thought it meandered a little too much on the focusing on getting these papers signed. That's like the whole...
Yeah, it's like the whole damn
The
thing.
whole conflict is getting the papers signed. So,
Yeah. So what's the conflict otherwise?
you know, but there are some good moments when they do encounter the real father, and there's some pretty good dramatic scene there. Elle Fanning really has like a breakdown. It's a really good scene.
No,
Real
I
powerful.
didn't see that one.
I
didn't see
but
that
it's
one
worth
coming.
checking out once. You know, it's not a film that's gonna
You don't want to
go
watch it
down
over
in
and
history
over
books.
and over and over and over and over again.
But it's a nice performance film, and I can tell that everybody in it put a lot into it. And I'm sure it's gratifying to especially maybe Elle Fanning that this film is finally getting released. Because you can tell she put her heart and soul into this
Well,
performance.
not only that, she's 4 years older now.
It's true.
You know, now she's probably
That's true.
she's a nun down in
Yeah.
on 12th Street.
But yeah, check out Three
In the Bowery.
Generations. It's a culturally relevant film right now that I think is worth checking out once.
Yeah.
But
You
now
like that one.
we're actually ahead of schedule. It's never happened. So
I know, it never does.
why don't we do a flashback? Would you care to do one?
I'd like to do a flashback.
You go, and then I'll do mine.
All right, here's my flashback. It was in 1972, and someone was chasing me around the kitchen table with a knife, and they almost killed me.
You're living in Chicago at that point, my friend.
I was, and they were trying to kill me.
Should we get you on the couch and we can talk further about this?
Well, you said you wanted a flashback.
I'll take some notes.
You wanted a flashback. I gave you one.
Was that a bad? I guess that was a bad one, huh?
Okay. Oh, you wanted a film flashback.
If you'd like.
I would like to do a film
Or
flashback.
we can end the show right now.
I'm going to lean forward now. I'm going to come into your face now. I'm going to come and get you
Hey,
all.
the lecture's over.
I'm so sorry. I seem to be getting carried away.
No more caffeine for you.
I haven't had any. No caffeine for me.
I
my
beg to
friend.
differ, my friend.
No, that is quite true. You may notice that the cup over there is completely full.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, this is.
Usually your cup is half
You
empty.
might notice that I haven't been able to drink much because there's very little air coming into me.
Maybe it was the
you see.
white powder that was lined up in little
Yes, it
lines
might
that
be.
you're consuming
Might
earlier.
be, yes. I can always go for a bit of coke from time to time. But yes, I'm going to talk about a film from 1963, and it's called Billy Budd.
Please do.
And I really love this film quite a bit. It's a novel by Herman Melville, the man whose dick was quite mobified
Yeah, I was just going to say.
many years ago. And yes, that's right, he wrote Moby Dick. But Billy Budd is a Christ-like little film, if you will, starring the beloved and beautiful Mr. Terence Stamp as a young man. And this is a really well-made film. It's actually filmed on a boat. No blue screens. This is during the Spanish Armada, I believe, where the English are fighting
Yes.
the French or Spain or somebody, or something's attacking me here. Oh, it's me. I'm sorry. But it's a wonderful movie. And I like the way in every single scene, you'll notice that when you watch boat movies very often, and they'll do a close-up on your main characters, they're very still. Well, in this movie, the director, Mr. Peter Ustinov,
moving, right?
was constantly aware that we are on a boat. So the boat is always kind of lofting and tilting, as boats do.
Yes.
So, therefore, I like that. I like the reality aspect of this film. It's basically about a guy named Billy Budd, William Budd, who
Okay.
comes upon board this boat, and he just wants to do his job. But he is so angelic and so pure of heart that he literally takes over kind of the personalities. Everybody on this boat is befriended to him and begins to love him. Well, there's a very evil man on the boat by the name of Craggett.
Don't give away too much.
No, this is very important. This is right from the start.
Yeah, I know.
But Craggett is a horrible man.
Okay.
He's
Well,
he's the bad guy.
You need that.
And he likes to whip some of the men on the boat just for the hell of it. He's played brilliantly by Robert Ryan.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who Robert Ryan is. He's an actor from the 60s and 50s and so forth. He's just wonderful.
I might know him by face.
And he never plays a bad guy. Robert Ryan always plays a man's man. He's great in a film called The Professionals with Burt Lancaster that I just adore that film. But anyway, that's from like 1964, 65, 66, I believe, was The Professionals with a wonderful score by Maurice Jarre. Dun 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 dun. All right, that's enough. But I'll tell you something. This movie was it kind of really grew on me, and I watched it in segments. I wish I had just sat and watched the whole thing in one sitting, but I did not. I watched it in various stages. I watched it probably over about 5 watchings. Mm-hmm. But it was just beautifully made. Peter Ustinov directed this film. Peter won an Oscar back in 1963, believe it or not, for a Best Supporting Actor nod for a film called Top Cappy, which actually was 65. And I love Top Cappy. It was a great movie by Jules Dassin, and it was a heist film. And he's just he also played Inspector Purell, I believe, on the Agatha Christie, I believe, one of the Murder on the Train film.
Yeah,
I believe that was
Murder
on the Orient Express.
Which they're remaking, by the way.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
with Johnny Depp.
Oh, yeah, I think I heard that. But this is just a beautiful film, I have to say. And there's events that occur that it's a sad story. There's no question. And but it's got a heart to it. It's a brilliant little black and white piece of cinematic. It's a gem. I'm so glad I watched it. A good friend of mine insisted and said, "Oh, you got to see this movie."
When did you watch it? Just recently for the first time?
I watched it. Yeah, this is the first time I've seen it. Over the course of the last month, I've seen this film.
Okay.
So it's just been a long time going, and then finally, you get halfway through a movie, and then you just say, "Okay, that's it. I got to sit and watch the end now." Because it had me ensconced within its own vision, and its vision was a beautiful one, and yet I knew at the same time, you always feel in your gut where a movie is going to go, mm-hmm. and when an angelic presence is always in somewhere in cinema, there is usually some sort of a crucifixion to occur.
Of course, yeah.
And unfortunately, if you know the story of Bilious Bud. It does present itself as such, but mm-hmm. but it's a wonderful film. I could sit and watch it again right now in its entirety. I would watch the entire film. No, I had my tongue in my cheek there, but you couldn't tell. But there's no reason why you should. But I really love this film. I did.
I'm gonna watch it. It sounds good.
Have you a flashbackian moment for us?
I do. Actually, I'm trying to come up with one right now because
there's a strange new world that you went to when you
Well,
say,
you know what
do.
it is? I didn't think we were gonna get the flashback tonight.
Well, I have another one for us though, if you'd like.
Are you going to do your little... Go ahead.
Yes, I do.
I'll let you do it tonight.
Horror classic.
Go ahead.
That I would like to talk about. This is a 1957 film called I Bury the Living. Yeah, that's right. I bury you. And that's precisely this is such a cool film. There's no great director involved here. It does star Richard Boone. You may recall, "Half gun will travel is the card of a man." Mm-hmm. All right, Richard Boone, he was Paladin by the name of Paladin. How come my mouth doesn't ever open? It's like sewn shut or something. It's very upsetting to me. But, I gotta say, I love this movie. This is what it's about. This is the premise of our film. The film takes place in a cemetery, okay? And a cemetery where, and this is a very interesting concept, where you have to think about that this would really hold truth. And that's what the greatness of any movie is, that it's based on truth. And how you would think that they would be at a place where people are buying cemetery plots. Mm-hmm. Well, the people that have bought plots and they are alive, they use white pins to stick into the bulletin board of all this map of plots that they have on this big board against the wall. Right? So they stick white pins in. So, when a person dies, they stick a black pin in.
Interesting.
You see? So, Richard Boone, one particular day, hasn't a white pin at his beck and call. So he takes, a young couple comes in and buy a pair of husband-wife plots. They're very young. In fact, the woman makes a joke about it. Oh, yeah, for my anniversary, he gives me a cemetery plot. But, so, Richard Boone, of course, he's a guesting host of the cemetery, this Happy Hills cemetery, where it's not Happy Hills, it's something Hills, or I forgot, but it's not important. So he takes 2 pins of black and he sticks them into the plots where this young couple has put their plots, has their plots.
Yes.
So as soon as he does that, within a day, those 2 people die.
I see.
They die immediately.
Interesting premise.
Hence the plot. Hence our moment of complete and total infatuation by me, the viewer. I loved it. I really did. It was incredible. It really was a great little premise for a film.
Cool.
So now he's experimenting. Now he's like, taking he keeps taking black pins and sticking them into live people.
Wow.
I can't believe this happens again. Every time he does it, though,
Interesting.
the person dies. You'd start to say to yourself, okay, you realize you have this power. Why don't you stop sticking the pins in there?
He gets obsessed.
Why don't you stop sticking the pins in there already and people stop dying? That's one way to stop doing it. But no, I have to get to the bottom of this, he says.
Of course.
It's like that old U2 story. Bono is on stage. And Bono says to the crowd, he says, every time I count to 12, a little baby in Africa dies. Mm-hmm. So a guy in the back row says, well, Bono, why don't you stop fucking counting then?
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So, and there's the truth. If Bono would stop counting to 12, more people would stay alive.
Yeah.
And if this guy wouldn't be sticking black pins in the white person, in the white live people's holes, they would also live.
Sounds neat.
It is kind of cool, and it's a creepy little film, and it's literally about an hour and 17 minutes long. And I loved it. The reviews were off the Richter scale. I mean, 10 stars.
What year was it again?
1957.
57?
Yes.
Is it black and white?
Black and white. Hour and 17 minutes long. You can't go wrong. It's it's like a Twilight Zone, Outer Limits / Black Mirror episode of.
Cool.
That's got a real creepy feel to it. I really liked it a lot. No question about it.
Good.
Yes.
Well, thanks for sharing that one.
Oh, you're so
Sounds
very
good.
welcome.
Well, I guess that's it for tonight. Well, and we're actually ahead of, not bad.
We're
ahead of
doing
schedule.
quite horribly here.
Hey, we're still almost at 400. You'll be
No,
fine.
that's ridiculous.
Oh, you'll be fine.
What about 60? No, don't get your hands off me,
I'm
you
gonna
bloody.
off.
Are we saying goodbye?
I think we should. It's
All
late.
right. All right, then we'd like to say goodbye to
We
all
should.
of you.
Well, I mean, it's been a good show.
Well,
Next
it's been
week,
a
though,
good
everybody,
show.
we'll be reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy,
yes, Guardians of the
Volume 2.
Tonight almost I did not come this evening. I almost.
He was a little under the weather.
I called in sick.
But he pulled through.
And that's probably because I've got little spots all over my face that I've decided to endure this horrible masky wask.
Yeah.
For all of you, our beloved viewers out
He has a
there.
very, very obscure form of leprosy that we're trying to get to the bottom of. I don't know how you got it,
I
but
wish you hadn't mentioned
I'm
that
glad you have this
to
mask.
the people.
Yeah.
But,
well, it's all right.
But it's quite.
We won't talk about the
alright.
scales that are growing on your back, though. We'll keep that
No,
quiet.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
I just ruined that. Sorry.
It's all right.
I apologize for
I won't tell anybody that you're a rampant homosexual.
that. Hey, not that there's anything wrong with
No,
that.
that's not true.
Anyway.
But anyway, we'd like to bid you all adieu.
We'll
and
see you
we'd
next
like to-
week.
I'd like to bless you all.
As always, catch us on Facebook. Check out Film Banter on Facebook. Check out Film Banter on YouTube, where if you don't
please
know...
check it out on YouTube, because no one ever does.
Stop, it's to do.
No, it doesn't.
The episodes that we do for the live stream on Tuesdays, just so you know, we edit, and then it goes on YouTube in a day or so, and it looks much better. It has a lot of fun to it. We have music, we have credits, cool stuff, gimmicky stuff. Check it out. Check out the YouTube page. And then contact us if you want. If you want to comment on his outfit, filmbanter
This
at
is
Gmail.
not an outfit, you little shit.
I'm talking about this. That's an outfit.
Oh, yes, why so it is.
Filmbanter at gmail.com.
Well, thank
Contact
you.
us, reach out, interact.
This is Vera Wang, asshole. This is
You sure it's not Vera Fang?
No, this is Vera Wang.
But we appreciate you watching, guys. We'll see you soon.
Wang!
Bye.